All right, welcome in. It's the Three Guys Talking Ball podcast. It's episode 71. It's the Lale Collins edition, I think. I think he was 71.
He still is.
I don't know.
Wasn't Malkin from the Pittsburgh Penguins? He was number 71.
Yeah,
wasn't
Evgeny
he?
Malkin, number 70.
Yeah.
An actual
This is
We
a
don't talk hockey on this show much, so we're going to give Mr. Malkin his fair share.
an actual
no.
champion.
Hockey maybe next episode, but this is basketball. We don't care about hockey at the moment.
I don't care about an average right tackle who's always hurt.
He's not average. He's a Pro Bowler.
But still,
Anyone can be a Pro Bowler.
Nowadays, yeah. Remember, Snoop Huntley.
You throw one touchdown pass, and you're literally Tyler Huntley. You're a Pro Bowler.
Hey, he might be a starter. Might be the Ravens' full-time starter this year. We don't know.
That does not mean you're a Pro Bowler.
He ain't going anywhere. Lamar's either well, he might be, but Lamar ain't going anywhere. He's either taking the year off or he's staying in Baltimore.
Yeah, who knows? What a mess.
What a mess.
What a mess.
What a mess.
But we got a Final Four matchups. We got the Final Four matchups set. But before that, we're gonna recap the Sweet 16 Elite Eight games. Guys, what was your initial thoughts of these the games?
We still suck at picking.
You want to know how bad our picks were? My dad called me with about 8 minutes to go in that first session of the Friday games to tell me how bad we sucked at picking games.
When Texas lost, my own employee texted me asking, "Hey, how's your bracket doing?" Because that's how petty she is.
That's the kind of coworker I can get behind right there.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Pam. That's Pam that I was telling you.
Bam! It's his work.
Are you saying Pan?
No, panned with a D.
Pam.
Oh, okay. It's panned. Panda?
No way, just a D.
It's a silent.
Oh, so Pam.
Yes. No.
Oh, Pang. Got it. It's Pang.
This interview is over.
Curveball. Interview.
You're sounding really stupid. You're sounding really stupid right now.
I'm the stupid one.
You're the guys who showed up to a job to clean toilets and tuxedos.
Get out of my office.
Can I take this? No, you cannot take this.
That's a dog.
Yes, the question.
That's a dog right there,
Yeah.
Ethan.
Oh yeah, Boone. He is getting a nice leg.
Hey, Boone.
God, we got a dog.
Hey, Boone. Boone, say hi to the camera. Nice job. Nice.
Boone.
Job. Boone. Hey, Boone. Hey,
He stopped.
Oh, there he is.
He's probably still trying to clean up the pee from you when he peed on his leg this morning.
He got excited.
Oh, in the house or?
All over his leg. Like, literally
Oh.
a good 5 seconds. I'm just like, bro. Like, what are you doing?
That's tough.
It was tough. It was tough to watch.
Unfortunately, we've all been there.
And on top of that, I was also trying not to even eat half a rabbit that's left over by my apartment too. Something demolished it. There's guts everywhere. It's kind of cool.
Hey.
You got some coyotes floating around.
It almost had to have been. Literally, the sucker's ripped in half and its head's gone. So I mean, I don't
Or a
know.
raccoon.
Well, Ethan, do me a
I don't think a raccoon's gonna catch a freaking rabbit.
No.
No, Ethan, do me a favor. Sleep with your windows open tonight and just wait for the
You hear
midnight
these rabbits squeal.
Yeah, howling or whatever noise those yotes make. Listen for it around midnight.
Maybe Boone just got out and just went ape shit.
You never know.
That could be.
He is a dog.
I've seen dogs kill rabbits before.
Oh,
It
yeah.
can happen.
It does. It does happen.
Have
Have you guys ever had rabbit?
Interesting. No, I would
No.
never.
No, I heard. Well, if it's, to quote the great line from the Patriot, dogs pretty good if it's cooked the right way. Same goes for a rabbit.
Nope.
Did I ever tell you guys a story about how I saw Raleigh kill a rabbit in my parents' backyard?
You have not.
Okay, so as usual, the Miller family, they're in Cabo over Christmas. So Grant gets the dog. So we're down at Daryl and Mary's house, and Raleigh knows that, hey, if I got to go outside, I got to go out the back. I got to go out the back with the fence. So she's yelling at me. She's howling. She's being a dog. And then as I get to the door to open it up, she sees this rabbit come into the fence. She's excited. Tail is a wagging. She's jumping up and down. I barely open up the door before she probably almost breaks the glass. runs off the deck like a missile, shoots off to the left, can't see her, comes back to the right. I look in the old sandbox in my parents' backyard, and I see this dog shaking this rabbit, and I'm like, oh, yep, she got it.
Got him.
And then
I got dinner.
I was like, all right, you want to come inside? It's negative 20 degrees outside in my head. You want to come in? The dog is just sitting there, throwing this dead rabbit in the air like it's a chew toy, rolling around on it. I can't get this dog to come in. I'm sure the neighbors are seeing this, calling the police, thinking animal cruelty. But that dog was having the time of her life after she killed that rabbit.
Man, it's tough sledding at the Castor household. Geez, they don't even feed the dogs that come to visit. You got to earn everything there. That was rent for the that was rent for the stay.
Oh no, that was fourth meal. That was her Taco Bell.
that was fourth meal. That was Chalupa Batman.
That definitely was. That was, hey, I got a little wolf in me. I'm gonna get this thing.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose, but guys, we got off to a hot start on Thursday. Great game that led us into Sweet 16 weekend. Kansas State 98, Michigan State 93. Marquise Noel broke the NCAA tournament assist record with 19. Incredible game. It was a back and forth game, and Michigan State ties it right before regulation ends. And it felt like, I texted you guys it too. It was like, man, it felt like Kansas State had their chance there. It felt like Michigan State was going to kind of get control of the game in overtime and win and go to the Sweet 16, but
you mean the Elite Eight?
Did not happen. Elite Eight, yes. Marquise Noel said, no, we're not losing in my hometown. We're not losing this game. We're getting another game at MSG, and he propelled them. He had a spectacular oop to Keontae Johnson, and it was just one of those games, and Michigan State had a shot at the end, and they just couldn't put it in. There were a couple of times where they looked like they had two really good shots, but they didn't shoot it. They were like afraid. It's like, the moment was too big. It's like they went to Michigan State or something.
I mean, that's coming from a fan whose team was in the Sweet 16 in the National Invite Tournament. Not the NCAA.
Well, this is just some friendly rivalry banter.
No,
they were just scared to pull the trigger from a couple weeks ago.
Oh, that's a good one.
Oh, man, I wonder what would have happened if they played Alabama.
Just an old-fashioned shootout.
The best assist man in the country would actually show up and play this time.
Oh, just wait till we get to that game. I have the chamber is loaded. Don't worry.
No
we're gonna get to that one.
No pun intended, folks. On the chamber being loaded.
Sure.
But on that alley-oop to Keontae Johnson, there's no way that wasn't scripted. I don't believe how Kansas State is saying, oh no, that was a genuine back and forth between Marcus Noel and my head coach, and Keontae Johnson goes to the basket. That was 100% scripted. I don't believe that. That was the best trick play in college basketball this year.
Absolutely, it was 1,000% scripted.
Okay, thank you. Because you can't tell me that wasn't scripted, like what they tried to say after the game. Oh no, we came up with that was organic. Give me a break.
They didn't panic. It was organic.
You need to. That's just too much.
I just had to quote the Dirty Grandpa scene when they're at the in Slam Bam Pam's surf shop, and they've got they're in the shop, and Zac Efron's trying to like vent to his grandpa and talk to him. Robert De Niro's character's just reading off signs that he said off the shirts. So, come on, Grant, get with it.
Well, I'm sorry. My bad. Sorry. Here, I just. Oh wait. But it's almost like Michigan State at the end was looking for a great shot, not a good shot. And at what point do you realize that, hey, you're down 3 with 9 seconds left? If you are somewhat open, you got to huck that thing up, man.
Yeah. If you have air, you got to let that thing go.
You got to let it fly. I mean, at least go down by saying you at least missed a shot, not we didn't get a shot up.
Yeah. Huh. Maybe Kansas State should have listened to our advice too.
Yeah.
But
talk about foreshadowing a little bit there.
Yeah. No kidding. UConn, Arkansas, nothing to talk about that game. That game was over. The Muss Bus forgot to fuel up on the way to
Las Vegas.
where were they? To Vegas. Yeah,
I
long
think he
drive.
forgot to
Forgot
put
to
it-
fuel up. They
I think he
they
forgot to
they,
put
they
his
didn't
shirt
even get out of the state of Arkansas.
No, their Sweet 16 was when they beat
Kansas.
Kansas. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, well, and they're a young team, so we'll see. I mean, they'll be back.
Oh, they're all going to go pro. Let's be real.
They're
They could.
They're gonna pro or they're gonna transfer because he's gonna have probably another good recruiting class come in.
He's going to have about 8 new guys come in again because that's all he does.
Caleb Love.
He makes Kentucky look old.
Caleb Love is going to Texas.
You think so?
I think so.
He can take the
Okay.
future.
I think so. Marcus Carr's gone. New head coach. I know he was an assistant still, but I think Texas is going to take transfers. Caleb needs a shot to go somewhere and prove that he can play. Why not go to the best conference in America? And
We'll see.
And essentially kind of be what Marcus Carr was,
Pretty much, yeah.
which is either really, really, really good or you get this guy off the court, he sucks.
Well, hopefully he doesn't try to sleep with his teammate's girlfriend.
What? Hold on. That nice one, Dylan. By the way, Ethan, what'd you say? Where you think he's going to go?
I'll say he's going to go to Marquette. I'm going to take a shot in the dark.
All right, Dylan. Where do you stay? Let's just see if we're right.
Minnesota. The only reason I say that is because I saw somebody tweet that out after it was announced.
Not a chance.
I don't want him at Michigan. Texas. Yeah, sure. What the hell? Why not Texas?
Right.
I keep it original. I don't have a dog in the fight. Whatever. Keep her moving here. FAU, Tennessee. A game that Tennessee, it felt like they were in control for pretty much all of it. It felt like they were up by 15 most of the game, and you kept looking at the score like, how is this only a 4-point game? And then you remember Rick Barnes is coaching Tennessee. He went full Rick Barnes. Tennessee, in the last 10 minutes of the game, just decided we don't need to score to win the game. We're just going to keep shooting. It's just going to go out of the hoop. And Florida Atlantic got hot, and they just couldn't miss from 3. Tennessee got cold. That's a bad combination in March. Is one team gets hot shooting the ball, the other team gets cold. Usually the team that gets hot at the right time is going to win.
Well, his name is slipping my mind, but Tennessee losing their best offensive player at the end of the regular season to the PCL.
Zakai Ziegler.
Yeah, changed their whole team. They didn't have anyone who could go get a bucket when they needed to. They beat Duke because of that defensive effort. Last Saturday or 2 Saturdays ago now, not because they put up 83 points on the Blue Devils. And that trend continued, last week on Thursday, but FAU just kind of hung around. And they didn't quit, and I thought Tennessee was going to win that game. I thought they were going to let us down in the Elite Eight because, like I said last week, you can't trust Tennessee, and I learned that the hard way. Well, we all did, but they just let me down a day early. So I now officially have no faith in anything to do with the University of Tennessee because their baseball team let them down last summer. The basketball team has let me down last year, and now you can say this year. In their college football playoff this year, they were number 1 at the first ranking and then fell off the face of the earth. Sure, Hendon Hooker tears his ACL. That's not fair, but still, you cannot trust the University of Tennessee.
No, you cannot.
I apologize, Morgan Wallen, but you just can't do it.
I didn't watch that game, but their big guy, the Russian man, I don't know if he's Russian or not. He looks Russian.
He is Russian.
He's a little
Yeah,
bitch.
he is. Yep, Golden.
He's a little bitch.
He should get an Academy Award for acting. God damn it, he's good at that.
We're talking about the Tennessee guy, right?
Oh, no, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the 7-footer from FAU,
Yeah.
who's also from Russia. But yeah,
I don't know if that guy's
Tennessee
from Russia or
7-footer.
not, but
Yeah,
he's a little bitch.
I would agree.
Yeah, well, he was the one that was doing the cheap shots too.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, he was going full Eastern European on everyone's ass.
Yeah.
Literally thought he was in
I can't remember who said that, but that's exactly how somebody else described it as just that full Eastern European. He's just he's almost like an Anderson Varejao, but just like where he just flop all over the court.
Yeah.
Yeah, they get pissed off and they just start mugging people.
Yep. Yeah. and that's why they went home in the Sweet 16. And then
Also,
another game.
back to Tennessee. Didn't they only score? Did they ever score over 60 points in this tournament?
They did versus Duke.
They may have, but they barely did. I know what their first round game. I think they only won like 55 to 51.
I think it was like 57.
Let's
maybe.
see here.
Really low.
They won 58-55.
Okay.
They won 65-52
Okay.
against Duke.
Okay.
So, yeah, but yeah, it was, yeah, that's kind of been FAU this whole tournament, was where they hang around, and then crunch time rolls around, and then it's like, oh, all right, we're in this. Let's go hit some shots. It's over. Okay, FAU wins. They're a really well coached team too.
Oh,
I think.
Well, they look like they got a bunch of juniors and seniors on that roster, or at least juniors in third year of sophomore.
I think they have one. They only have one senior. It's the
first recruit that they're coaching.
Yeah. His Forrest.
Yeah.
Forrest.
But besides, as long as those guys don't transfer, they might be a damn good basketball team next year.
Yeah. Well, and this late run by FAU too, it might keep Dusty May. It'll probably keep him there for at least another year, because most of those good head coaching jobs are filled. Because the teams that just got knocked out, I don't see them getting rid of their coaches.
Well, and we wait until Michigan fires Juwan Howard.
That's possible, or Mike Woodson gets fired at Indiana and he could go home.
Well,
he was a manager there.
He takes an NBA job.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows? Oh, you're saying Woodson takes an NBA job?
Well, if he were to leave Indiana.
Yeah, or he gets fired and he's just done. The guy is old.
True.
But
are you being ageist?
I'm just saying he's old. Yeah, I guess so.
That's
I started the podcast. You can't fire me, so.
I was just trying to be stupid, and it did not work out well.
That's illegal.
I am ageist. There's sometimes I don't, outside of my grandma and grandpa, there's not too. I shouldn't even say that, because I actually do like most old people. They're fun to talk to. They got good stories. They got good, different funny things that they tell you, where they reach that stage in life where they just don't give a shit. They tell you how it is.
Well, that's true and all, but we should probably take their driver's license away. Anyone over 80 should not be behind the wheel of a car.
Grant, it's so funny you mentioned this. We actually called Hannah's grandparents.
Oh no!
Was it Sunday? Yesterday? I don't remember. But all of a sudden they're like, "What are you guys doing?" We're like, "We're in Missouri. We took a wrong turn." And we're like, "What are you talking about?" And she goes, "It's fine. We're going north now. I think we have it figured out." I'm like,
"Oh my God, no!"
She literally just texted Hannah. We are home and partially recovered. We covered close to 1,200 miles since Saturday at 6 p.m. to last night, or this morning at 12:30 a.m.
Someone called them. I know they're back home, but someone should have called the Missouri State Patrol to find these people.
We took a wrong turn and just ended up in fucking Missouri.
Yeah, we just drove.
How old are they?
Mid-70s?
Okay.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
And they're coherent, like they're very nice people, like very smart, and like it's just like, what the hell?
Oh my God. We made a wrong turn and ended up in the Show Me State. Show me how the fuck that happens.
I love it.
We will follow up on Easter Sunday and come back.
Oh my God, that's good.
It was amazing you brought that up.
Okay, well, I guess then let's go west of the Show Me State and go out to Vegas where Gonzaga took care of UCLA 79-76. UCLA dominated the first half. The only reason Gonzaga was in the game was Drew Timme went into like nuclear war mode and was like, we are not losing this game. I'm not going to let it happen. And then
he went 2011 Dirk Nowitzki.
Yep, exactly.
Just a white guy on a mission. A white 7-footer.
Yep. That's the best way to describe it. And then UCLA, again, the theme for the tournament is just these cold streaks where they went 9 minutes in the second half without a field goal, and they still had a chance to win the game. And they take that lead late, and then they do the Gonzaga does the Jay Wright play to Julian is it Strother? Is that how you say that?
Strother, yeah.
and then UCLA actually had a decent look, as good as you can get with however much time was left, and that one looked like that one was going to go in too.
I thought that was going in. Now,
and I had a buddy he's a huge Gonzaga. And I sent that in the group chat. He was at the game, and when Gonzaga, I think, got up like 8, was up like 7 or 8 with like a minute left. I was like, man, what a comeback. You guys got a good game. He's like, not over yet. And then UCLA takes the lead. I'm like, oh, shit. The Gress jinx is real. And he's like, man.
They were up 8 with 52 seconds left.
Is that what it was? Yeah.
Yeah, we went.
Seriously?
Yeah, me, Alec, and Reggie couldn't believe what was going on. So we went backwards and paused it and said in a span of 40 seconds, they were down 8 and they're now up by a point. It was just like, you got to be kidding.
Was Juwan Howard coaching Gonzaga or UCLA? Yeah, Gonzaga for that like brief period of time.
Mike Zimmer is running the time management for.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Mike Zimmer.
Okay. The Colorado Buffaloes defensive assistant.
Yes, he's great.
Mike Zimmer.
Time management.
And I'm like, oh shit, my bad, I jinxed it. and then Strother hits that shot, and they get the stop, and I just text him in all caps, onions.
Oh, got insert Bill Raftery into my veins, please.
And he probably still said it's not over.
Yeah, it's not over yet. It's not over
yet. But what a great game. We had 3 of the 4 games. Outside of Friday, we were blessed with some incredible games all weekend, which usually, I mean, you get a couple maybe on Thursday, Friday, maybe 1 or 2 are good, but 3 of the 4 Elite 8 games, and the Friday games were kind of meh, not great, but Thursday got us off on the right foot.
I do got to say, Friday, I was uber impressed with what the Miami Hurricanes did to Houston's defense.
Yes, that I guess we'll just go into it. And that was Houston's inconsistent offense that came to bite him in the ass. That didn't pay off. That experienced backcourt of Miami of Wong and Pack. Wong had 20, Pack had 26. Just that late surge in the second half got them over the hump where Houston their offense couldn't find a bucket. We discussed that. That was the only way they were going to lose is if they got cold, and Wong and were hot.
Because Houston was up? What were they up at halftime? Was it 8 at halftime?
Yeah, and then Houston stormed back, and they got it to. I think they tied it at one point, but I don't know if they ever took the lead.
I'm not sure because I thought Houston was up by like 8 or so at half, and then Miami, or
Miami was.
I'm thinking the Texas game. I'm sorry.
Correct.
I'm sorry. But I mean, yeah, Miami, you can tell they have such a veteran group and team that's been around for a while because they didn't flinch. They didn't worry. They didn't have a care in the world. They knew that it was going to take 40 minutes to win this basketball game, and they showed out and they dominated. And Houston just looked shell shocked.
They know they should have lost to Drake, so they're just like, fuck it. We already lost. We should have lost once this tournament. Why should we?
And now they're just playing with house money.
Yeah.
Exactly. Coach L gets back to his second Final Four.
Exactly. It's like exactly 20 years or something after he did it, or 15, something like that.
I think it's like.
Yeah, I think it was like 15 because I want to say it was 06. It was 06. It was the year after Carolina beat Illinois.
So that'd be 17.
So, yeah, I think that was 05. So 06, 23, 17 years.
So why don't people tell us these facts before the tournament? Because then it's obvious. One, it's in Texas. UConn's going. And two, it's 15 years since Larranaga went there. Miami's going. Like, they don't make this easy enough for us.
If we would have done a better job putting the pieces together, saying, the Final Four's in Houston, UConn's super hot. They're a 4 seed. They're kind of underrated. They're going to sneak into this title game. And guys, this right here is why we don't work for the FBI.
True.
Because if we were smart enough to put these pieces together, we would be working for the feds.
Maybe we the next year when the tournament comes out, we have to have Connor come on, and he can give us a full FBI detail of each team, and we can pick our brackets based off that.
God, you just know Connor's going to tell us what's wrong with every single city in this tournament.
I can. Oh, that's so true. I can see it. I'm all for it, though. You know what? Sign me up.
He's going to dunk on all these cities. We're going to be like, why did we go there? That place is a hole. Ew, no. And he'll have a full ring binder of stats proving why, Knoxville, Tennessee, and Pittsburgh is just a hellhole, and you should never go there. It's like, this guy's making a lot of sense right now.
Yeah, but the other early Friday game, San Diego State 71, Alabama 64. Just seemed like they were in the wrong place at the wrong time on Friday night. And it's also been released that after the game, Nate Oates has suspended Brandon Miller, so he won't be playing for the foreseeable future. We don't know when he'll be back.
I thought Nate Oates internally.
What's that?
I thought he handed this internally.
Oh no, he suspended him now. Now that the season's over, yeah, it's suspension. Brandon Miller, he was 3 of 19 shooting the ball. He probably should have looked to be to pass and get some assists.
Yeah. But in all seriousness, with this game, what are these basketball teams doing in the first half? Alabama's 1 of 11 from behind the arc. In the second half, they're 2 of 12. I think they're 2 of 14. If you're 3 of 25 for the game, why do you keep chucking up threes?
Because that's how they play. It's the Daryl Morey effect, where God. It is mid-range jump shots are overrated. If you're shooting a jump shot, it has to be a 3 or it has to be a layup. There's no in between. But and you're right though, Grant. Like, how many times did Alabama have where they could have taken a couple of dribbles in and it was still open and shot a 15-foot jumper?
Look at my.
Like what's wrong with a 15-foot jumper? Why is that such a bad play anymore? That's what built this country is 15-foot jumpers.
What happened to the mid-range? The greatest basketball player of all time, Michael Jordan, dominated the mid-range. Jay. Also,
or look at the Warriors, and they can shoot a lot of threes, but the majority of their points comes from the mid-range.
Look at Miami. They were 4 of what? They had 4 made threes yesterday against Texas, and they put up 88 points just because they made so many of their twos and they dominated the mid-range. What is wrong with these basketball teams? If you're off to a 2 for 10 start, stop shooting threes. And they still only.
It's not going to magically go in. I've tried watching that. Like the amount of at some point it's just like, okay, my shot's off tonight. I'm going to have to drive dish, get to the lane, or take a couple of dribbles in, pump fake, hard dribble down, pull up, shoot a jumper. 2 points.
I mean, it's just like sometimes it's just not your night. Hey, you're not that guy, pal. You're not that guy.
Yeah.
I mean,
but yeah, in San Diego State, they controlled that game from the whole start. From the start,
you could tell within the first 5 minutes of that game that was played on San Diego State's time and the way they wanted to play, and you're like, oh, Alabama's in trouble.
Yep. And then Creighton Princeton. Princeton put up a good fight, but Creighton, they were just too much. They not a whole lot to talk about this game. They pretty much controlled it from the word go. Creighton moves on. It was a great run. Princeton shouldn't cry because it's over. They should smile because it happened.
Because we're
Put on for the
third
nerds.
Ivy League school to make a Sweet 16?
Something like that. Could be.
Ivy League.
I think it could be.
Uh-huh.
I know because Cornell did it back in like 2010. And I don't know when the other one did, but yeah, Princeton, they're a solid team. Creighton was better. And then the final game on Friday, not much to talk about here. It was Texas 83, Xavier 71. Texas dominated. That score, the 12-point spread was not as close as that game indicated. But
hey, Sean Miller back in Xavier, it just feels right. And now he can cheat and get away with it.
He is pretty good.
yeah, he's a damn good coach. We'll see. I don't know if he's gonna how much. Well, yeah, he's at Xavier, so he could get away with it. I mean, there's no wires. They don't have wires in Cincinnati. It's still pretty far behind. They everything is just through Skyline Chili in Cincinnati.
I hate the city of Cincinnati. I hate that.
You've never been
I can
there.
just tell it's going to be a fucking hole.
It's kind of rude.
Has anyone ever said, hey, I'm going to go to Cincinnati on vacation?
No, well, that's because it's in the state of Ohio. There's really nothing good that's in the state of
the
Ohio.
Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is in Cleveland, so people might go to.
Okay, I stand corrected. The Pro Football Hall of Fame and the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Other than that,
it's North Kentucky.
Exactly. They don't have cell service. Looking at the state, it kind of looks like a toilet. It looks like a.
Well, I was going to say, I'm guessing people shit in their yards in Ohio because they don't have indoor plumbing.
Nope. They just got dial-up internet like a week ago. But yeah, so let's go on to the Elite Eight games. FAU 79, Kansas State 76. And boys, I needed a nap after that game. That game was exhausting to watch. That was such a back and forth game. I was like watching it. I'm like, FAU had the lead. Kansas State had the lead. FAU took it back. Kansas State took it back. And it was just, they were just running up and down fast pace. I got to take a nap in between this game. I'm tired just watching it. I felt bad for those guys. They were exhausted.
It was disappointing. It ended like it did, where Kansas State didn't even get a shot off to tie it.
Yeah. I felt like Noel was almost he tried playing hero ball, and and I don't know, maybe it was something to do with Johnson being in foul trouble the whole time, but it felt like he played hero ball until the last minute, that last shot where he passed it when he should have just kept it and tried to find something.
Yeah. I don't know what he was thinking on that one, whether thought he had more space, if he passed it, he'd give it back, and then Masood or whatever his name was just fumbled it.
But Kansas State, they got to be sick to their stomach because FAU had 22 turnovers in this game?
22 turnovers, but
how many
also can't. Yeah, exactly. So it's like one of those great equalizers.
It kind of just cancels each other out. But in a Elite Eight game, I still can't get over the fact that someone had 20+ turnovers and they still won the game.
Yeah.
But I mean, FAU.
But you can do it when you get 19 offensive rebounds.
True. And man, they just kind of come at you in waves. They have a bunch of guys in this roster who are not afraid to take a big shot when they need it.
No, and Forrest, the guy that went and put the game on ice, was not afraid at all. He just went up there, sunk them. And FAU, they had 4 guys in double figures. Outside of Noel, I think the next they had 2, and it was like 14. But Keontae Johnson was in foul trouble most of the game. You know, he was not a factor. If he stays out of foul trouble, I mean, you almost have to pick Kansas State to think Kansas State wins that. But hard to be effective in a game when you're sitting on the bench with foul trouble.
Well, and what's crazy is on that Sweet 16 game, going back to that against Michigan State. Michigan State, for their foul shots, they were 18-22, but they missed 2 or 3 big ones at the end when they needed it.
Yeah.
FAU, when they needed it, to your point, Dylan, onions. They made them all. They had ice in their veins.
Well, even Kansas State, they missed a handful of them, a couple of front ends too in the Elite Eight game too, which ended up costing them.
So,
it's timely. You know, you're going to miss free throws. It's those timely ones where you have to have them. You can't afford to miss them, and they missed. Kansas State missed them.
Exactly. But then even like FAU 7-footer, you know, that was his day. Who says the big man is dead in basketball? You know, like we said earlier, that guy owning the offensive glass and keeping those guys alive.
Yeah, Golden showed out. Like he was the difference. I think because that's where they got their 22 offensive rebounds. That's where, you know, FAU knew they had a size advantage as well, and they exploited that. And then in the second Elite Eight game, UConn 82, Gonzaga 54. We're not going to discuss much. UConn they weren't losing that game. Drew Timme didn't get to play a whole lot because he was in foul trouble. Like Grant, you said yesterday when we recorded Conversation Monday, maybe it's a 15-point game if he's not in foul trouble, but nobody was beating UConn.
No, they were just on a mission, and you could tell by that UCLA game it was Timme or bust for Gonzaga. And when he scored 47% of their points against the Bruins, you know, going up against UConn, that was going to be tough to do. And you know, the Zags they fought for a little bit, but eventually they just were overpowered and overmatched. And
you could probably say this is one of Mark Few's best coaching jobs, because compared to the teams he's had in the past, you know, the fact that he got them to the Sweet 16 is nothing short of incredible.
And yeah, with the talent
because
he doesn't have compared to last year's teams or even teams 2 to 5 years ago.
Yep. But then let's go on to the Sunday games, and we had two barn burners, 2 Donniebrooks. We'll start with the first game of the day: San Diego State 57, Creighton 56. You know, been a theme. It's Creighton. Creighton got cold when they couldn't afford to get cold. They shot 28% in the second half. SDSU, they just always just kind of kept hanging around, and then they were able to get over that hump. And then it came Creighton ties it, and then I guess we have to discuss the call at the end. What are your guys' thoughts? Did you guys think it was a foul?
Honestly, I didn't even see it.
Okay.
But if it went away from Creighton, it wasn't a foul.
Well, and I guess, you know, Creighton, they could say that, you know, they have something that they can say, like, you know, the refs screwed us. That's why we didn't get to the Final Four. It's not like a Gonzaga where they lost by 30. They at least Creighton at least had a shot, but they got screwed, they could say.
So I'm sticking to my guns here. After the Super Bowl, I said that was a defensive holding on James Bradbury. And I said this: don't put the referees in a position to make a foul call or have a flag be thrown on a penalty. After seeing it, that Creighton player put himself in a bad spot. He gave the official an opportunity to call the foul. So you know what? I'm sticking to what I said a month and a half ago. That was a penalty, and that was a foul. I get the whole you don't call it at this time, let the game play out. But you know what? At the end of the day, if it's a foul, it's a foul. If it's a penalty, it's a penalty. Young man, do not put yourself in that spot to make the referee make that call. Because they're humans. They're going to miss this. They're going to miss this. And San Diego State, he may have embellished it a little bit or a lot. But you know what? If you're Creighton, just don't put your forearm on his back. Don't extend just a little bit to put him in a spot to make that foul call.
I understand your logic. I personally wouldn't think that's a foul call. I do think he flopped a little bit. And I also, the other argument is, if it's a call with 2 seconds left into the game, it's a foul, 2 seconds left in the game. I don't think I'm calling that either way. I think it was just there, and there's so many bodies in there. Like, you can't really see what was going on. You couldn't see. Maybe he got hit by his own guy, but credit to San Diego State. They made their free throws when they had to. And if you're Creighton, you can't shoot 28% in the second half and expect to win and go on what they went on was another 4.5, 5 minute scoring
and
drought.
Also, credit to that San Diego State player. He misses the front end. He easily could have folded under pressure and missed that second foul shot, and we're going to overtime. But he got together, he recomposed himself, and he made the second foul shot.
Yeah, well, and watching him shoot those free throws, I'm guessing that was his regular routine. But the way how slow his routine was, it felt like he was gonna miss both. He was just so it was so slow, and he just didn't seem confident shooting it. And then the first one was like, oh, he missed it, and then he shot the same way again. I was like, okay, maybe that's just his routine. But man, I was like, I didn't think that second one was going in either.
Yeah, not like he's got that routine like Marcus Noel where he gets the basketball and he's all business.
Yep. Yeah, it was very slow and
almost not quite beyond slow, but it comes to a point when you're watching them, it's just like, can we get going here, dude? I mean, the end of the basketball games are already hard enough, and they're atrocious with how they review everything under 2 minutes. It takes them 47 minutes to review something where we'll look at it once and say, oh yeah, hey, that's Creighton ball. That's Texas ball. But they look at it for forever with the timeouts. It's like, we need to get this thing going. We need a pitch clock at the end of basketball games, like in the MLB. Where's Rob Manfred when we need him? We need to get the end of these games going.
Yeah, well, and hey, it's is it opening weekend this week?
Yeah, I think Thursday.
For baseball.
Yeah, Thursday. Yep.
Okay. So, and then the final Elite Eight game: Miami 88, Texas 81. Game Texas is going to be kicking themselves forever. I thought did Rick Barnes come back and start coaching the Longhorns? Because Texas was in control most of the game, and it felt like anytime Miami got close, Texas would go hit a shot, kind of extend that lead, and then they get it at 10, and then Miami got it to 8, and then they got it to 6, and then Miami was like, all right, let's go. And, we talked about Jim Larinaga, the great job he's done, but it was late in the game, and I think it was tied. In one of the timeouts, all he says was they didn't go discuss strategy or anything. He just goes, "Isn't this fun, guys?" And that just is, that house money that you guys, I think Grant or Ethan, one of you guys said that they're playing, and that they're playing with, where it's like they got nothing to lose. And they're loose. And I think they use that fuel from losing to Kansas last year in the Elite Eight that propelled them into the Final Four.
Yeah, and it was weird watching Texas play in this game. When they got up 15 in the second half, you're like, oh, this game's over. and then in return, it looked like Steve Sarkisian was coaching the Longhorns, actually, where they gave up in the second half. They kind of quit. They took their foot off the pedal, and they never buried Miami, and they just slowly let them creep back and creep in and creep in. And in the last 5 minutes of this game, Miami took over, which unfortunately a lot of Hornets fans have seen in the fall during the football season. And Sark was there. He was behind the bench, so he may have well been the architect of this.
Yeah. That could be it. That would make sense. But and then Miami, they made their free throws at the end. And Texas, similar to what Alabama did in the Sweet 16, where they fouled with 34 seconds left, down 2. What are you doing? Why are you just play it out? Because, and I don't know, maybe they were worried about offensive rebounds where they're not going to get a shot, but still, like 34 seconds, that's still 4 seconds too. There's a lot of time to get a stop and score and get down the court. And, it's easy for us to just sit here and say that as we're watching from the bench.
What didn't make sense was they fouled with like 21 or 20 seconds left in the shot clock. If you're going to foul right away. Don't go back and play defense for 10 seconds and then say, oh, yeah, I'm going to hack them here. Like, to me, once you get to about that 22, 21 second mark left on the shot clock, you got to play defense. You've made up your mind. Don't give them 2 free shots at the foul line. And Miami had the stones to make them all. They didn't get affected by the pressure of the game.
No, that's that experience, that seasoned backcourt that they have, and they found a way. And it was like midway through the year. I can't remember. Somebody said that Miami could make the Final Four, and then the next day they go out and lay an absolute egg against Florida State, and everybody crossed them off. But so is the ACC? Are they back to the ACC? Or are they still the ass conference?
No, one team does not make you not an ass conference. Nope.
Okay.
Well, and the fact that Duke lost on the opening weekend, Virginia lost to Furman, North Carolina State, North Carolina State lost their first game. Carolina didn't even make the tournament. Clemson got fucked. The ACC did not have a good tournament this year, and they do not deserve to not be the ass conference.
All right. Well, I had to ask.
What's crazy? The Miami Hurricanes are a basketball school. The once proud football program for the old mighty Miami Hurricanes is now a basketball school.
And their women's, they made it to the Elite Eight too.
True. Are they playing today or do they play yesterday and lose?
No, they lost yesterday.
They're getting what they want in the women's tournament, though. Aaliyah Boston versus Caitlin Clark this week.
Is that?
Yeah,
I just saw a title game, or is that a Final Four?
Four.
Very nice.
But it's probably the title game.
Yeah, I guess I just don't know how that bracket lines up.
Yeah, they play.
Because who won between Virginia Tech and Ohio State?
I think
they're playing right now. Virginia Tech's up 5 early.
Okay. Go Hokies.
LSU, that's the other.
So I was probably play LSU.
Yeah, they beat Miami.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So hopefully Caitlin Clark just goes nuclear like she does every game, and they beat South Carolina because holy hell were those analysts tonight. Like they had like the 5 keys on how you got to beat South Carolina. They made it seem like it was a team of 20 Michael Jordans.
It really is hard listening to people talk about this South Carolina team because it's like let's pump the brakes here.
All they do is they just slam it inside, and if they miss, their girls are like 6'5", so they just go over the back every time and get the rebound.
Mm-hmm.
They don't call shit.
And I feel they just probably body people up on defense all the time, and these refs are afraid to not play physical, so they get away with so many fouls.
Yeah. If Iowa gets hot for shooting, like there's a very realistic chance.
Well, 3 is more than 2.
Go Hawks.
Yeah. Don't know what night
Hawks are better than Cox.
This is a
These
true
are
statement.
facts.
But let's get on to the Final Four. And you know, since COVID has happened, the coaching wardrobe for basketball coaches has been completely different. It used to be the suit and tie all the time, but I came up with this idea that I think coaches need to dress in the city, state that they coach in. They need to take on the identity of the city. So, like Florida Atlantic, it's in Boca Raton. There's a lot of old people there. It's more of an elderly community, So you need the Tommy Bahama shirt, the big old bucket hat, straw bucket hat, and the sunglasses. You got to have the short shorts because they're old, and then to top it off, what he's got to do too is he's got to put the sunblock on his nose too.
And then also you can't forget the tall white socks up to the bottom of his kneecap.
Yep. And the Velcro shoes.
And then also it's going to be sponsored by Banquet Frozen TV Dinners.
Yep. That's what the Owls are powered by. They're powered by Banquet TV Dinners.
Just a huge nose, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. And then San Diego State, they're military base, so he's got to be. I think their coach has to be dressed in fatigues.
Well, if you look at
more like a drill sergeant.
San Diego State play, they look like they're in the military and they've killed a couple people in their.
Exactly. Thank you. That's what I'm saying. See, I think I've nailed this. This is probably one of my better ideas I've had. And then UConn, Danny Hurley, I think he is dressed very well for being a UConn. There's a lot of rich people there. They think they're better than everybody. And, they've got that, they commute in from Wall Street all the time. So suit and tie, nice sport coat. Danny Hurley's got it perfect. And then Miami. Now, Miami is just south of Boca Raton. So, what needs to happen, similarly what FAU is wearing, but a little more stylish. It's a more younger area, more hip. But to top it off, what Jimmy L needs is he needs to have a little bit of white powder. FAU, he's got the full nose. Coach L needs to have a little bit of a cocaine, residue on the bottom of his nose.
Absolutely.
Wow.
And they are powered by Cuban sandwiches.
Cuban sandwiches and Cuban cigars, and then he's got to have a palm tree button-up shirt, but it's unbuttoned, and he's got a wife beater on underneath it.
Yep, and he's got sunglasses. He's got the big aviator sunglasses too. Yep. So we nailed this.
He probably has to have some sort of bottle of booze, just because the nightclub's open till 5 a.m. down in Miami, and some of them don't close. They just stay up. They're open 24/7.
Yeah. Yep. A fancy champagne bottle. Yep. For sure. That's what, instead of Gatorade, what they're drinking on the sideline, they're drinking some type of fancy champagne.
I can get on board with this.
Okay. All right. So, yeah, this is the best idea I've ever had. I'm fully behind this. That this is the best idea. Is Coach? I am. I was watching the episode. I think I got about 20 minutes left of The Last Dance, episode 9. And maybe that's what got into me, is I've been just inspired by the greatness of Michael Jordan, and this is, got to roll with it. But back to let's go into the Final Four matchups. Let's preview. First one of the day: San Diego State versus the FAU, as Lane Kiffin used to call it. And that game's at 4:09 Mountain Time. Over under is 132. San Diego State is 2-point favorites. And And outside of goal, I think San Diego State has the size that matches up well with FAU, where they're deeper in those spots where they can kind of keep Golden off the glass. I think they're keep putting a body on him and limiting those offensive rebounds are not going to be a problem. But ultimately, I think this game comes down to whichever team shoots the three better, which team adjusts to those long, to the to playing in an NFL stadium, how they handle that. And in the end, I think San Diego State is the ones that shoot it better. I think they're going to be able to wear down Florida Atlantic, where they're going to have tired legs. And I think San Diego State pulls away late, 62-57.
I'll take San Diego State too, so that automatically means Florida Atlantic's going to win at this
Yep.
rate with my picks in the NCAA tournament. So just take that for what it's worth. But I just think San Diego State's too good defensively. They've shut down better offensive teams than what Florida Atlantic is, and one, Alabama, and two, Creighton back to back. Like, that's not easy to do. Wait, did San Diego State beat Creighton? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can verify that.
Put up 55 points.
Yeah, neither of those teams are. I should say Florida Atlantic's not nearly as good offensively as either of those teams. So I just think San Diego State's defense is too good.
You know, guys, it's funny. This
Are you saying Alabama doesn't have the shooters?
They just have one shooter.
Okay. Or they had one shooter. They had one.
One shooter, and he emptied his chamber, if you know what I'm saying.
Yep.
But guys, it's kind of funny. This Final Four reminds me of, was it 2011 when VCU played Butler? You kind of had the mid majors, and then the later game you had the two big boys playing Kentucky and UConn, also in the state of Texas.
Same stadium too. The in the lovely city of Houston, Texas.
I think at that time NRG was it grass? I want to say now it's turf.
It was a grass field. Yep. Yep.
You know what? Just for the hell of it here, and just because I like the people of the state of Florida more than I do California, I'm going to go with the Owls. Just you know why? Just because that's how this year in college basketball has been.
Okay, I like
galore. We knew it was going to be a crazy tournament. Duke, Kansas, Virginia. And someone I'm forgetting all eliminated before, didn't even get to the Sweet 16. Carolina didn't make the tournament. FAU has gone on two separate, I think 14-game winning streaks this year, 12-game winning streaks. I don't know. Something just tells me they're hot. They're a team of destiny, and I'm going to go with the Owls because why not? Just because that's the way this year's gone. That's
realistically, I picked
the
them
only
too,
reason
so.
I have. On, and I like Florida more than I do California.
Okay, there you go. All right, now let's go on to the second game, UConn Miami. UConn is 5.5-point favorites. The total is 149. That game is scheduled for 6:49 Mountain Time to tip off. It's a tale of two different ways of how each team's gotten here. UConn. The only game where you could really say they struggled was against Rick Pitino when they were losing at halftime against Iona. And then after that, they've blown everybody out. And Miami, they've had to scrap, they've had to claw. They've been battle tested in every single game they have played. And they keep finding ways to pull it out. You have to feel that Miami, it's been their theme all tournament is just keep this close. Let's see how UConn handles some pressure when it's close in crunch time. See how they handle it. See if they're able to handle the pressure, make their free throws, hit shots when they need to, get stops when they have to. And I think Miami does keep it close, but in the end, I think UConn answers the bell. I think they are in the lead, and I think Miami can get it close. I think they can get it to a 3 to 4 point game. But in the end, I think UConn answers the bell. I think they make their free throws. They hit those shots, get those stops in crunch time. And I have them winning 72-64.
It's going to be a good game first. But Honestly, I don't even think UConn would lose if Jesus and his disciples came out of that tunnel to play. Like, I legitimately think they'd still probably win. But UConn's just playing so damn good right now. I don't know if we've seen a team play this good all year. Even earlier when they were like 18-0, number 2 in the country, whatever, they weren't playing this good. Dawkins is like absolutely a freak right now on the threes. All of them are shooting them. I think they're shooting almost a 45% clip in the tournament at 3, which is
Sonogo is a
insane.
stud. That guy just is a force down low.
It's
He
literally
he just bullies people. I mean,
He's a big
you
man.
almost want to go out and say that's assault right now with what he's doing to dudes.
He was not this good at Seton Hall.
He got that Dan Hurley in him. Have you watched that? That guy is intense. That guy, it was 30 seconds left. They were up by 40, and he was still snarling at guys to play hard.
Oh yeah, he demands the best.
But and just watching him on the sidelines is fantastic. Ethan said that to me to start the tournament this year. They were just like, if you just want to have a good time, just look at UConn's coach. Just look at Dan Hurley, just losing his mind, being goofy, doing all this other stuff. It's like, yeah, this is some guy I want to root for, and it's just grade A entertainment. But as much as I would love a Southeast Battle of Florida for the national championship, I just can't go with it. I think UConn, they're just too good. They're playing too well right now, and they're too balanced of a team. With that, I think the Huskies are in advance to play FAU.
All right, now let's do the championship game. That's going to be Monday night, and we'll be recapping it next week. But in the end, I think San Diego State, they give them a game for a half, and in the end, I think UConn ends up pulling away. I think they're just like you guys, like we've said, they're playing too well. They're too balanced. Anybody can go off at any given night, and I think that balance leads them to cut down the nets once again in Houston.
I'm with you. This is probably going to be one of the best matchups in the actual whole tournament. Best defense versus best offense. I just think the offense for UConn is a little too much length, too much shooting. San Diego State can't quite keep up.
Well, and, I had the Owls playing UConn here, and I feel like this title game, sorry to bring up memories for you, Dylan, it will kind of be like the Villanova-Michigan game in 2018, where for the first 5-6 minutes, the underdog, they come out, they give them a good fight, but eventually the best team in the tournament who's been hot, nobody could compete with them. They're just they're going to make this look easy and do light work with them, and UConn's going to win comfortably.
That damn racist Deontay DiVincenzo.
Hey, my dog.
Your dog, his dog.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe they can go meet up and have a meeting or something.
They'd probably be good friends.
But yeah, no, I could totally see that happening. Back to that game. That game was also in the state of Texas. Right? That was in San Antonio, yeah. But that one, when Muhammad Ali Abdur-Rahman got his second foul, I figured this is going to be tough for Michigan to get back into it, and it was. And that was a great season, a great run they had. It was fun to watch, a lot of great memories. Jumping into you and I hugging each other in a St. Paul bar after Jordan Poole hit that shot over Houston. But yeah, it was a fun run. Wish it would have ended differently, but there's always next time. But we all have UConn. So if you guys are listening, probably pick somebody else because our brackets are terrible. Our picks have been terrible. And maybe for a change, maybe your guys' dads can give you a call and tell you how awful you guys are at picking instead of my dad roasting me.
Well, it's funny. My dad, it's funny. He always calls me and says that he goes, "Yeah, Grant, I got another perfect bracket going this year. I don't know how I do it." And it's like, well, yeah, you silly old man. You write in after the games are being played as you go, and you call it yours.
Classic dad joke.
Do I know how bad
That's
my
like that's similar to that's similar to like what you guys do for your golf scores is you just kind of you can say you scored anything you want. You just got to write it down, and nobody's going to question it.
This is true. If you want to know how bad my bracket is, 3 of the 4 Final Four teams I had losing in the first round.
Ooh.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Who?
Yeah. Miami, Florida Atlantic, and San Diego State.
Oh shit! Yeah, I did too. Yeah, I definitely had 3. Yep. But I also picked the I was the only one that picked a Final Four team. So by default, I win.
Grant wins.
You know,
He gets free steak.
people who say they
No.
win by default get participation trophies. And Dylan, you're looking
Nope.
at participation trophies.
I set up the bracket. I got all the information entered. This is not a democracy. This is a dictatorship, and I can change the rules. Yeah, well, I was the one that did the work, though. You guys didn't. My bracket, my rules.
Technically, I joined the bracket before you even invited me to, because I joined it from last year.
Oh shit!
You actually did.
Yeah,
you did.
Sweet or sour?
Yeah.
I don't eat apples.
You're gonna get a little trophy that says first fucking loser.
Better than second loser.
But in my books, boys, if you ain't first, you're last.
That's I suppose Grant again
wins, baby.
I guess Grant. And well, your day is coming, Grant. Your day is coming.
Yeah, well, even if Ethan
that's
kicks my ass next year, I still got 2 championships over you fuckers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you do. Well, and why are you just saying just Ethan? I could surprise some people. This ain't fantasy football. I ain't eating no pancakes again next year.
Because Ethan and I are going to start a pack. It doesn't matter who wins between.
Oh, that's how that works. That's collusion. You're going to force me to have a stroke. And then by default, I'll have to win it.
You're not getting a pity trophy. Had a stroke.
Yeah, you don't get extra points for having a stroke.
You don't. No.
You don't?
America, we don't care. We
no.
don't care.
Isn't that why Grant wins it because of his strokes?
Most of the time, but not this time.
Yeah. Oh man, if the walls in Grant's room could talk, oh boy, would he would be in trouble.
Much GIF on these walls.
Did you shoot it in black and white?
Peanut butter.
Oh, but was it shot in black and white? Is that why it was a controversial or? But nobody has any idea of what we're talking about right now, and if you know, you know. And we'll leave it at that, and then we'll kick it over to Ethan since it's for Curveball of the Week. Take it away, Ethan.
Pretty straightforward tonight. What was your dream job growing up?
Dream job growing up?
Yep.
Ooh. That? Well, when I was like 4 or 5, I thought being a Pepsi man was the coolest thing ever.
Oh, sure. Here we are.
And here I am, yeah.
You put the blue polo on and you're like, I'm a blueberry.
Yeah. Well, when I was a driver, I always joked with my boss that the uniforms we had, we looked like prison inmates, and I always joked I worked at Northern Bottling State Pen, and then they finally got new ones like 2 years ago. But dream job. I probably have to say what we're doing right now is I think it still is like a sports talk radio show. Like a day, and we do it once a week, but like doing one every day where we have a local sports talk radio show where all we do is talk sports for 2 to 3 hours a day. That's the life right
Dan
there.
Patrick and old Mike and Mike, or we talking like PA and Common, your local guy?
Either one. I I think what would be really fun too is like, yeah, you could do your national, but I think your local would be fun where you get the callers too, where they get to rant to you about how awful one coach is and how they need to fire them, and then you can just shut them down and tell them how
So kinda
stupid
like
their
Feinbaum.
logic is. Something like Feinbaum, yep. A little, but not where like, I mean, like you have like one segment for like a half hour every show where you open it up.
I got you.
But the rest it's like where it's us three and we're talking ball. We're just three guys talking
that
ball
makes sense.
every day. Like Mike Francesca and Mike Russo. Something like that.
I got you.
But yeah, Mike and Mike, any of those type of shows.
Yeah, and for some reason I don't know why I thought this was a dream job or why I'd be something fun to do like that, but like I
OnlyFans
did not
model.
know about OnlyFans when I was younger, which is actually just a damn shame because I could make a buck. Now it's my goal.
His goal.
Well, he has that with Raleigh now.
I'm thinking more or less, guys, just to keep it so keep people at ease. I'm thinking more something like Feet Finder. I'm that would
Grant's OnlyFans is Grant Raleigh PB.
Because then nobody would know it's Grant. They're just like, hey, look at this dude. It's some dude's feet. Oh, he's got nice feet. Yeah.
Boy.
Yeah, that happened. Dream job. Got it. For some reason I always thought like owning my own landscape company would be kind of cool. Just because with all the heavy machinery you have and how if people wanted a whole new backyard, like a new patio, a new deck, sod on the grass, just kind of that work that you can put in there, those hot summer months where you're sitting back and you're hating your life and you think this is miserable. But then you get done with the project and people come out and they look at you like, they look at their yard and they're like, hey, this company did this for me. And then they pass you on to someone else and then someone else from there. Yada, yada, yada. I always just thought it was maybe more fascinating. And kind of when we come into the Masters next week, I almost enjoy just looking at the landscape of Augusta National more than the actual golf.
Yeah. Did you order the taste of the Masters that you can order
is that Scotty's
from their website?
Or
No. So like their concessions, you can get some pulled pork, egg salad, pimento cheese for sandwiches. You get like 6 barbecue chips, 6 original chips. You get like a bunch of cups.
$120 or something.
$175.
I did not. No, that's interesting.
Yeah, some chocolate chip cookies, 6 barbecue chips. You get a bunch of Masters glass cups, and then like coasters, which I finally got my first set of coasters. You guys know what I was using as coasters before?
Some salt?
Do we want to know?
Paper towel, yeah, paper towels. But now I got these
go.
fancy ones.
Ooh, very nice.
So
upside down W.
Nice.
Yep. W for win.
Win.
Yeah,
win what?
But I wanted to be a cop, and I'm so glad I didn't be a cop.
No kidding. Yeah, that is not a line of work. Just makes you appreciate their job that much more of what they go through and what they do to keep us safe.
You look at someone wrong and you're a mean cop. So I'm glad that's not in that.
Yeah, that would just be awful. And even if the shit they got to deal with, but more or less just sometimes if you work the night shift dealing with all these drunk people and bar fights, you got to break up. That's not
drugs.
No. Yeah, like like trying to get in Grand to leave a bar. I mean, they don't pay those guys enough. I mean, just getting you to move, it's tough sledding. I've heard those stories.
Ordered like 10 Yag bombs at 1:45 a.m. and bar closes at 2, but I might be wrong.
I never got kicked out though. I've never been kicked out of a bar like somebody in this podcast has.
Out in front of us, that was awesome. But
Oh, boy.
Yeah, that's right. I do
Yeah,
remember that. That was
boy, they were.
that guard was huge too.
But
And then he almost truck sticked
and
us.
the guy he's kicking out is throwing his hands and feet everywhere. We almost took a shiner to the face from this dude who was getting thrown out of the bar. It's like, geez, what did we do?
And then I remember and standing outside of that bar too there was that giant Great Dane.
Yes.
But good times. That was before I allegedly ordered said Yeg bombs.
No, you ordered them. It was 8. And I think Dylan, you took 3 down. I took 2 or 3 down, and a couple other people had 1. Yeah.
Jeff
So me and you, majority of the work there.
Those were the days. Those I don't think I could do that anymore.
Nothing like that.
Don't think I want to do that anymore.
Car ride back to Mankato in the Trailblazer with no AC.
Oh God,
as hell.
No, yeah, driving back to the city
Yeah.
with no AC. It was 90 degrees.
That was. I appreciate you, Grant.
Right.
It was hot. It was that was a rough drive back.
In every year in September.
Yeah, it was, but it was a hell of a weekend.
You know
I had fun.
My AC, you turned it on, and even if it was like up to like number 5 on the fan, it still barely got anything going. It's like japers.
R.I.P. Trailblazer.
But you did have the bird.
I had the bird living in the back.
I thought it was the mice.
Yeah, no,
I thought it was mice.
It's the rat.
Yeah.
Back there.
they were. That's right.
I
forgot about that too.
Until it fell apart. And it fell apart just north of Jordan, Minnesota on 169.
And the Trailblazer fell apart. I guess that's a good way to end this, is laughing at one of Grant's fails. So thank you guys for listening. Check us out on all of our social medias at 3 Guys Talking Ball Podcast on Facebook. We'll have the segments out on YouTube on Friday. 3GTB Podcast on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok if you want to follow us there. And then that puts a bow on this week's episode of the 3 Guys Talking Ball Podcast. We'll talk to you next week.